Welcome to another Smart Tech for CSEC tutorial. In this tutorial, we'll be teaching you how to create our recommended drawing template for CSEC exams. We have experience in preparing students for the CSEC exams and have developed this template to minimize the friction and possible problems that students might face in presenting their work at CSEC exams. The template we have developed, admittedly, is not the most versatile, but it does provide students with little to no formatting to think of when saving their work for presentation to the CSEC and allows them to focus solely on the drawings that they are being tested on. This template will employ many of CSEC's recommended template and plot style settings, but will be customized as we have deemed beneficial. Before we create the templates, we will first create a plot style table that we can apply to our templates. Firstly, open a new drawing from AutoCAD's ACAD ISO template. Then, type plot and hit enter to go to the plot window. Your window may be collapsed. If it is, you will need to click on the toggle at the bottom right to enable more options. Click on the plot style dropdown and then select new. Select start from scratch and then click on next. We will name the plot style CSEC plot style. Click next. Make sure that both options are selected and then click Plot Style Table Editor. Within the Plot Style Table Editor, we can apply the stipulated lines, colors, and line weights recommended by CSEC. The first option is the print color. Lower down, we have line type, and two options below is line weight. Simply apply the recommendations given by CSEC to each plot style color, then click Save and Close. We will display the settings on the screen. You can pause the video to apply the settings. Now, we move on to making the template. Type units and hit enter to open the units window, and make sure that your units are set to millimeters. While you are here, you may choose a unit type and precision. We recommend decimal for type and 0 for precision. Go to Layout 1. Use Ctrl A to select the viewport and Delete to delete it. We will be making a new viewport later. Right-click on Layout 1 and click on Page Setup Manager in the menu. Click Modify to enter the Page Setup window. For a plotter, select AutoCAD PDF, General Documentation, and for paper size, use ANSI Full Bleed 17 by 11. Under Plot Scale, change the unit to millimeters and change the scale to 1:1. Notice that the printable area is slightly smaller than the full paper size. We will use the dimension of the printable area to create our title block and viewport, so you may need to record it. Change the plot style table to CSEC plot style. Click OK to close this window and then close for the next. Now let's go back to model so that we can draw our borders and title block. Firstly, we will draw a rectangle equal to the size of the printing area. Use the command rec and hit enter. For the bottom left corner, input the coordinates 0, 0, and for the top right corner, input 430.21, 277.81. Now we offset through 10 to draw the borders. Use the command O for the offset function and input 10 as the offset distance. Select the rectangle and then click within it. Next, use lines to draw your title block as you please. CSEC recommends a 180mm wide title block. Make enough sections to input school name, candidate number, center number, drawing number, and scale at the very least. Next, let us create a viewport in paper space. Go to Layout 1. On the ribbon, select the Layout tab and click on Rectangular. The coordinates for the bottom left corner are 0, 0, and the coordinates for the top right corner are 430.21, 277.81. This is strictly a personal preference, but I usually enter the viewport and turn off the grid lines for Layout 1. In both model space and paper space, make sure that the Show Annotation Objects and Add Scales to Annotation Objects settings are on. Set your annotation scale. In this case, I am making a scale 1 to 100 template. Next, we will scale up the objects that we've drawn so far. Select all the objects and type in the scale command. Use point 0, 0 as your base point and scale to the appropriate amount. For this example, I will be using 100. Before we put text in our title block, let us set up our text style. Go to the Annotate tab on the ribbon and click on the Text Style drop-down menu. Select Manage Text Style. In the text style window, click New. We will make 2 text styles, one for titles and one for labels. For titles, we will set the text height to 5 mm and make sure annotative is turned on. For labels, we will use a text height of 3 mm. Also with annotative turned on. Since we are already on the Annotate tab, let's go ahead and edit our dimension and leader style. Click the drop-down menu for Dimension Style, then click on Manage Dimension Style. Select the annotative style and then click Set Current. Click Modify so that we can edit the settings. In the Modify window, go to the Lines tab. Set the baseline spacing to 10 mm. 3 mm for extend beyond dimension line and set offset from the origin to 3 mm. In the Symbols and Arrow tab, for architectural drawings, we recommend architectural ticks and 3 mm arrowhead for leaders. In the Text tab, set the text height to 3 mm. For text placement, set vertical to above, horizontal to centered, and view direction to left to right. Set offset from dim line to 1 and text alignment to ISO standard. In the Fit tab, make sure that annotative is on, and in the Primary Units tab, set the precision to 0. Click OK. Make sure that this style is set to current and close this window. Next, we will set the leader style. Click on the Leader Style drop-down menu and select Manage Leader Style. Select Annotative. Make sure it is set as current and click on Modify. In the Content tab, set the text height to 3 mm and the landing gap to 3 mm. In the Leader Structure tab, set the landing distance to 5 mm. And in the Leader Format tab, set the arrowhead size to 3 mm and the leader brick size to 2 mm. Save the settings and exit the first window. It's a good idea to test out the settings to see how they look. Now we can add text to our title block. Select the titles in text styles for this. Click on Multi-line Text. Use the corners of the box in which you intend to place the text as the corners for your text box. Choose a justification for your text and type in your text. Any text you place can easily be changed later. Next, we will set limits for the model space. Type limits and hit enter. Then use 0, 0 for the bottom left corner and use the top right corner of the outline rectangle for the top right corner. Now head to Layout 1 and enter the viewport paper space. Use the zoom function and the extends option to zoom in to the limits we set. The scale may be slightly off, so set it to the required scale. Leave paper space. Next, head back to the model. Click on the Home tab on the ribbon and then Layer Properties. Click on this icon to add a new layer and type in a name for the layer. Click on the color of the layer and choose the color. Click on the present line type and line weight options to change them. The line type will have to be loaded before you can select it. Add the layers recommended by CSEC with their recommended settings. The color number can be typed in. The page outline rectangle should be placed on a layer that won't be plotted. The viewport outline may be placed on this layer as well. Once the border and title block are placed into their layers, lock the layers to avoid editing them by mistake. Our template is complete and we can now save it. Use Ctrl S to open the Save As window. Change the file type to AutoCAD Drawing Template.dwt and give it an appropriate name. It will automatically be saved in the AutoCAD Templates folder, which will make it accessible in the Templates menu on the Start page. The AutoCAD Templates folder is pretty buried, and the location is easy to forget, not to mention that you would have to turn on Show Hidden Folders to find it. If you need to copy the template folder to another PC, then we suggest saving a copy of it somewhere easily accessible. To add it to a new PC so that it can be accessed from the AutoCAD Start page, you will need to copy it to the AutoCAD Templates folder on that PC. The easiest way is to copy the file so that it is in the system clipboard. Then open AutoCAD, click on Open. Change the file type to .dwt and then paste the file into the folder. You can then click Cancel. The template makes it so that students simply draw within the borders and then head to layout 1 and plot. They will not need to make any plot setting changes, and clicking OK will yield a perfect plot. This template can easily be modified to accommodate drawings of different scales. The next video will show you how you can use this template to easily make several templates for drawing on different scales. Thanks for choosing Smart Tech for your tech draw learning. If you found this video helpful, then like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you will know when we upload new tutorials. And as always, keep practicing.